Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome for the first time. All around, welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a copywriter and branding expert for about the past 7 years. And in today's Freelance Friday video, I'm going to be talking about my workflow, how I organize my orders, and how I manage to never be late on freelance work, which is a little bit of a challenge because as a freelancer, I don't have a boss. I don't have a team even I'm working with as a solopreneur in this case, and I don't have a consistent schedule really of any kind. And so it can be really difficult to not let things slip between the cracks, not get away from you without having that structure that a lot of other more traditional writing careers tend to offer. Yes. As always, if you have any questions for a future Freelance Friday video or just anything you're curious about, would like my thoughts or advice on, feel free to comment that down below. I can't guarantee I'll answer it, but I do always try to mull it over and think how I can turn that into something helpful and moderately cohesive for you. Today's video is kind of in response? In response to Sandra Poku's question on a free, I can't talk. My whole wardrobe is just running clothes and merch at this point, so shout out to Vanessa Carlton. If you haven't heard Love is an Art yet, go do it. Her album's awesome. So first of all, I have to preface this by saying that I am basically 5 minutes late to everything in my life that is not work. And so the first thing I'm going to talk about is just kind of the mindset that I put behind my work. I always tell my husband that as heartless as it sounds, I'm on time. That's not true. How do I say this? I'm early for everything that matters to me, being, work, job interview, concerts, things like that, like things that matter. That's how I say it. And then I'm usually 5 minutes late or like barely on time to things that don't matter, like family dinners, the movies, stuff like that. That's not to say that I really care about work more than my family. It's just this productive type A-ish mindset that I have. Hopefully this doesn't make me sound like a robot. But if you can put yourself in that mindset, I think that's really important just going forward with how to organize your life so that, this makes me sound like a capitalist I don't like this. I have to say it anyway. Put work on a priority. If you don't want to ever be late and you want to have well-managed, organized workflow, it's just got to be a high priority. That's not to say that it's better than social, it's not more important than personal, but work needs to be a legit priority if you're going to manage your orders and do everything on time. I currently work with a 5-day delivery period, so all of my orders, except for branding, which is just a little bit different because they're multi-delivery packages, but I'm not gonna dive into that. Everything in my workload is with a 5-day delivery period. That's not 5 business days, that's just literally 5 days. I am considering changing that, so I might follow this video up with a later video kind of saying what I decided to change to, if it's working or it's not working. But for right now, and for the past 3 years, it's been 5 days. And what that does is it allows me to have a little bit of flexibility for scheduling. So even if I end up with a lot of orders all stacked up on one day and they're all technically due exactly 5 days away, I can kind of space that out over the course of the 5 days and do some things sooner and some things later. But my goal is to always deliver 1 day early. The 1 day early policy for me personally is twofold. Number one, people prefer an early delivery, even though for me it was perfectly on time because that's when I decided to do it. And the thing number two is that gives me just a little bit of wiggle room in case anything was ever going to happen on a day that I couldn't get my work done, or in some cases when I just get to the end of a day and realize I'm just too mentally burnt out to finish everything, and then I will do the arrow of death in my type A opinion and push that last order onto the next day. And then of course it's still not late, it's not even close to late because I have at least usually a day and a half left on the order timer to do it. And the way that I manage my orders is pretty old school-ish. I mean, for being fully digital online freelancer, it's kind of weird that I manage my workload in a bullet journal, but I do, and I love it. My whole life is in here. If you ask me a question, what are you doing tomorrow? I will literally say, I don't know, but I will check my journal and I will get back to you because I have no idea. So there's no way you can see this. I have everything laid out in a day by day flow, and I always assign the work on the day that I'm going to do it. So that way I can literally finish the day by checking everything off, and I'm planning ahead to see what I need to do over the course of the week. Some people prefer to say the day it's literally due. I say the day I'm going to do it. And I think that that's an important distinction. Again, because that allows me the flexibility to parcel things out when I'm busy. Sometimes it's just, that's the way it happens. I end up with 8 different orders within, 4 hours just because everyone on the planet is online right then and they decide to order. So some people might write that they're all technically due within 4 hours of each other on day number 5. And that's technically the way that Fiverr's delivery system works. And that's how Fiverr's dashboard looks. But that is not the way that my bullet journal works. All of those things get parceled out onto those individual days in between. And I have a simple checkbox saying that it still needs to be done. I also write the order amount, which just gives me a little bit of ability to look at a glance and see how large of an order it is. As my copywriting rates are not all the same across different kinds of copy right now, that's not a perfect science, but it does give me a pretty good idea right away. If I have 2 giant orders or if I have 6 little orders, that makes sense with the monetary value. And then I also just write the person's username just so I can easily keep track of it. But yeah, my system's pretty simple, I think. I tried to make it pretty much foolproof and simple as possible. In my bullet journal, I do have some other kinds of symbols. I have my triangles are for exercise, dots are for house chores, a clock is for appointments when I actually write the time next to it, and then music notes are if I have a music related activity. But at the end of the day, all I want to see is that everything gets checked off, or if I need to, those symbols also make it easy to draw a little arrow or a slash for cancellation. Basically, I use a super personalized take on bullet journaling. It's definitely not a bullet journal, but it's kind of is. So hopefully this is at least a little bit valuable to you. I know it's really hard to manage your own workflow, especially when things change so frequently as a freelancer. No 2 days are alike, no 2 weeks are alike, and it can be really hard to manage everything and stay on top of it. Like I said, I personally feel like having a bullet journal is the most helpful for me because I'm a very tactile learner. So physically writing things in my journal makes me remember them better. And I also like that I'm fully in charge of my layout to create something that gives me, it's the way I want it. I don't know, I'm a very DIY kind of person. So I've done a couple different bullet journal layouts, and now this is, I think, year 3 of this method. And it just works so well for me that I think it's just really important to find what works for you. I used Google tools a lot through college to stay organized, but at the end of the day, I just feel like the personal task of me physically writing it down makes me a little bit more aware and memorable of what I have going on. Even if, like I said, I have a terrible memory, I can't tell you what I have to do, but I know I have something. And that's only because I wrote it down. If it was in a digital calendar, I would be lost. So I really hope that your business is going well, whether you are building it or trying to maintain it, as I am. I'm even trying to scale down a little bit. So like I mentioned, there might be a future video coming. I'm considering making a few tweaks to my order workflow kind of process and timelines. So we'll see if I decide to do that and if I comment back if it's better with my current 5-day plan or if I might go to something different in the future. We shall see. But the best part of being a freelancer is you are in charge of yourself. You can do what works for you, and you are in charge of kind of streamlining and finagling your business so that it works best for you. Is that what I just said? Yeah, okay, I should be done. Like and subscribe, cool, thanks, and yeah, let's get back to work. Happy Freelance Friday.